Welcome back, guys. So this is season finale episode of Bani Home Delivery. So it turns out that the show is being started to end pretty much soon. Actually, this week we are about to enter. The show is ending. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, in case you have not subscribed to the channel yet. Let us finally recap how the show is ending, and also announcement of the replacement series have been made. But for this video, we are talking about how it's going to end. So we are not bothering about replacement series, but I'll put the image of the replacement series so in case you want to watch it, you also read the updates about it. But I've not posted it. But for now, let's talk about the season finale episode of Bani Home Delivery, and also do let me know, are you going to miss the actors Yuvan and Bani in the show?
The episode begins with the doctor carefully examining Kabir before turning to the family with a serious expression. He explains that Kabir's injuries are still fresh and that he must take complete bed rest if he wants to recover quickly. Stress and movement could worsen his condition, so he should avoid any strain. After giving the necessary instructions, the doctor quietly leaves the room. A heavy silence fills the atmosphere until Devraj finally speaks. Looking at Kabir with concern, he says that Kabir can leave only after regaining full consciousness and strength. Bani, still worried, softly tells Devraj that Kabir listens to him more than anyone else, so perhaps he should try talking to him calmly. Devraj then changes the topic and reminds everyone about the Kuldevi Puja. He says that after the puja, all the troubles surrounding the family will finally begin to settle. He instructs the family members to prepare because the rituals will require a 3-day trip. While everyone starts discussing the preparations, Bani suddenly looks troubled. She reminds Devraj about the doctor's warning and asks who will stay behind to look after Kabir, since he cannot even manage on his own right now. Devraj immediately answers that Bani will take care of him. He tells her emotionally that he trusts her completely and asks her not to disappoint him. Though hesitant, Bani agrees. As the family prepares to leave, Sharmi approaches Bani with guilt written all over her face. In an emotional tone, she apologizes sincerely for all her mistakes. She admits that Bani has a very large heart and says she believes that one day Bani will forgive her. Charmi promises she will wait patiently for that day before walking away sadly. Sometime later, Kabir slowly regains consciousness. Still weak and confused, he immediately calls out for Devraj and Viraj. Hearing his voice, Bani rushes toward him and gently asks what happened. Kabir looks around the room and asks her to call everyone immediately. Bani informs him that nobody is home because the family has left for the Kuldevi Puja. Kabir's expression hardens instantly. He coldly tells Bani that he does not need her help and orders her to leave the house along with the baby. Hurt by his harsh words, Bani quietly turns to go. But before she can leave, Kabir suddenly loses balance and begins slipping due to weakness. Bani immediately rushes forward and supports him before he falls. Trying to remain calm, she reminds him that he is not even in a condition to take care of himself. She also says she promised Devraj that she would look after him no matter what. Kabir reluctantly sits back down but sternly tells her to keep Atharva away from his room. Bani refuses immediately and says, Atharva is their shadow and can never be separated from them. Frustrated, Kabir searches for his phone so he can call a nurse instead. Bani informs him that his phone was broken during the accident and her own phone is missing as well. Just then, a reminder notification appears on Bani's watch about Kabir's medicines. She quickly gives him the tablets on time. Later, Bani brings food for him and tries to feed him with care. Kabir stops her midway and insists that he can eat by himself. However, his injured condition makes even simple movements difficult. Bani notices him struggling and quietly starts feeding him despite his resistance. While feeding him, she gently asks how the food tastes. Kabir almost admits that it tastes good, but before he can answer, Atharva suddenly starts crying nearby. The moment Kabir hears the baby crying, his attention shifts completely. He immediately tells Bani to feed milk to Atharva first and says he can eat later after the baby is comforted. Bani notices the concern in his voice and smiles softly, realizing that Kabir's feelings for Atharva are beginning to surface even if he refuses to admit it. She then leaves to prepare milk for the baby. As night falls, the house becomes silent. Kabir suddenly wakes up and notices that Bani is sleeping alone. Confused, he wonders where Atharva is. He tries waking Bani to ask about the baby, but she pretends to remain asleep. Worried, Kabir slowly gets out of bed despite his injuries and starts searching for Atharva himself. The moment Bani sees him doing that, she secretly smiles. Kabir finally finds Atharva lying outside under the cold moonlight. Shocked and worried, he immediately becomes anxious about the baby catching cold. At that moment, Bani walks toward him with a calm smile on her face. Kabir angrily questions why she placed the baby outside in such cold weather. Bani explains that Devraj had instructed Kabir to stay under the moonlight as part of the Kuldevi Puja rituals. But since Kabir is injured and unable to do it himself, she placed their son there in his place. Kabir becomes furious and scolds her for making such a decision without asking him first. Bani then softly points out that despite all his denial, he truly loves and cares for Atharva. Kabir instantly rejects her statement and insists that he feels nothing for the child. He bitterly tells her that she always tries to see goodness in him, but the truth is, he's not a good person. Bani emotionally replies that he should try seeing himself through her eyes. She says that for her, Yuvan and Kabir are the same person, and she firmly believes that her love and care can heal him completely. She asks him to give her just one chance and honestly admit that he cares for Atharva. Kabir stubbornly refuses again and claims he does not care about the baby at all. Bani then challenges him with a question. She asks whether he would still stand aside if Atharva were ever in danger. Kabir coldly answers that he would not come to save him. Hearing this, Bani quietly accepts his words. With pain in her eyes, she tells him that in that case, she has decided to leave the house with Atharva. The episode begins with Kabir sitting alone, completely lost in thoughts of Bani and little Atharva. Even though he tries to stay strong, their absence keeps haunting him. Every corner of the house reminds him of the moments he spent with them, making him feel emptier with every passing second. At the same time, Bani lovingly looks at Atharva and tells him that one day his father will definitely return because he can never stay away from his son forever. Though she tries to sound hopeful for the baby's sake, tears quietly fill her eyes. Deep inside, she misses Kabir just as much. Kabir slowly recalls several emotional memories with Bani. Her care, her stubbornness, her love, and the way she always stood beside him despite everything. On the other side, Bani too breaks down emotionally while thinking about him. Both of them are separated physically, yet their hearts continue pulling them toward each other. Suddenly, Yuvan appears before Kabir like a reflection of his inner conscience. Calmly, Yuvan tells him that he is finally changing. He says the battle inside him is no longer against the world, but against the hatred he has been carrying within himself for so long. Yuvan points out that Kabir misses Bani and Atharva deeply and should stop denying his feelings. Kabir finally admits the truth. He says Yuvan is right and confesses that he is tired of living with hatred and anger. Yuvan gently advises him to end all the bitterness in his heart and simply listen to what his heart truly wants. He tells Kabir to accept that he is incomplete without Bani and Atharva and that it is finally time for him to begin a new life with them. After saying this, Yuvan slowly disappears, leaving Kabir emotional and thoughtful. Meanwhile, at Bani's house, panic suddenly spreads when Bani realizes that Atharva is nowhere to be found. Fear instantly takes over her mind. She rushes outside and frantically tells Vishnu that she fears Raja may have kidnapped Atharva once again. Terrified, she says they must find and rescue him immediately. Hearing the commotion, the colony residents gather around and assure Bani that they will help search for the child. Just then, everyone is stunned to see Kabir arriving there along with his family and Atharva safely in his arms. The moment Bani sees Atharva, unharmed relief washes over her face. Kabir gently tells her not to worry because Atharva is with him. Before Bani can react properly, Kabir smiles and says that the father and son duo has come together with a special proposal for her. Bani looks toward Devraj in confusion, and Devraj simply smiles warmly in return. Kabir then emotionally admits that neither he nor Atharva can live without her anymore. Gathering courage, he asks Bani if she would agree to become his wife and Atharva's mother forever. The entire family excitedly encourages Bani to say yes. Kabir teasingly asks her whether she is truly ready to marry a man who already has a child. Overwhelmed with emotions, Bani finally accepts his proposal with tears in her eyes and happily says yes. Kabir's face instantly lights up with happiness. Unable to control their emotions, Bani hugs him tightly while the family celebrates their reunion joyfully. Later, Kabir is seen speaking directly to the audience during a promotional shoot. He explains how Bani completely transformed Yuvan's life through her delicious food, her love, and her affection. Smiling proudly, he says that if food and flavor truly matter to people, then they should definitely order from Bani Chow Home Delivery. Bani smiles shyly after hearing his heartfelt words. A crew member then informs them that the next shot is ready. Kabir turns toward Bani and tells her she looks beautiful. Bani nervously admits that she feels scared about everything happening so fast. Kabir comforts her and reminds her that all of this is happening to help expand her business and fulfill her dreams. He extends his hand toward her supportively, and Bani lovingly holds it. The two then begin acting in an advertisement inspired by the story of their first meeting. During the shoot, Bani feeds food to Kabir, including his favorite Yuvan Methi kheer. Kabir playfully asks for more kheer, but Bani refuses teasingly and runs away with the pudding box in her hands. Kabir chases after her and catches both Bani and the box at the same time. The director excitedly shouts, "Cut and pack up," while Kabir and Bani remain completely lost in each other's eyes. Soon, Bani's business begins receiving non-stop food orders. The entire family comes together to help her pack deliveries as happiness fills the house once again. Excitedly, Bani tells Kabir that she's even getting orders from South India now. Wondering how she'll manage such large deliveries, she asks him what they should do next. Kabir confidently tells her that this is only the beginning. He says that very soon her biggest dream will come true, and one day there will be an entire chain of restaurants carrying the name Bani Chow. Filled with excitement and pride, Kabir then suggests taking a family selfie to celebrate the moment. Kabir, Bani, Atharva, and the entire family gather together happily and click a cheerful selfie capturing the beautiful beginning of their new life together. With smiles, love, and hope surrounding the family, the story finally comes to an end.